tryna run it up.
So, I wanted to wait until I had the exhaust set up the way I wanted to have it. That way I didn't sound like a fucking hypocrite about what the perfect exhaust setup is on a 15 to 17 Mustang. Not only that, I mean, you can hear the exhaust now as I'm driving. Not only was perfect for the 15 17 Mustang, but this will also apply to any modern V that you have that you want to have an exhaust on it. My sunglasses on, it's gonna get fucking hot. So, let me just start by saying, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies that I'm gonna mention. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. I'm not gonna nut ride anybody for what it is, or to try and get sponsored, even though that would be pretty cool. I'm just gonna put it flat out there of my honest opinion and my experience with dealing on trying to find the perfect exhaust note for a 15-17 Mustang. This one is a 17 track package. It is currently I guess you would call it a full bolt-on, but it's a Cobra Jet car, an E85 tuned by Lund, and the exhaust I have on it right now is Kooks long tubes, no cats, the Corsa Sport catback with quad tips. So let me roll the windows down. So you don't hear me, so you can just hear the fucking car. Originally, when I started, because I bought this car stock, I had the Mustang like starter pack, which when I first got the car, I wanted to get the loudest setup possible, no fucks. But the first only intentions I had was in the catback. So the loudest catback that I could find at the time was the Roush X-Pipe and Roush mufflers. I went ahead and got it, ordered it. I had a cold air intake, I had a tuner for it already. Then I got suckered into buying some headers. So when I first did any exhaust work to the car, I had the Kooks long tubes, no cats, Roush X-Pipe, and the Roush mufflers. And when I say that was the loudest fucking car ever, it was insane. I mean, it was cool to go ahead and sound like a NASCAR when you're on the highway and you're just like gapping the fuck out of someone. But driving around the city, and it was just a nasty, raspy, tinny sound that was just, it was nasty. And not to mention the cold start. The cold start was ridiculous. think that's a Trans Am. I think that's a blue Trans Am that won the 11.0 class. And of course, I hit traffic. Anyways, that exhaust setup I had in the car, it was cool when you were all the way in it and it was loud and you could just go for it, but I'm gonna be straight up, it was almost embarrassing having to drive the car around, and it just sounded like shit, and I hated it. I did not like it. So if you are a 15 and 17 Mustang guy and you plan to get headers eventually, don't get the Roushes unless you're just unless it's gonna be like all out, you know, kind of race car deal, and you're only gonna drive it on the weekends, or you know, it's only gonna go to the track. That's cool. You know, if I was only gonna go to the track and have it just solely just for the track, that setup would be fine. It wouldn't matter. But when you want to drive it around and do all kinds of other stuff, and it was pretty nasty. So the way I combated that was I added a set of MagnaFlow magnet packs behind the X-pipe. And it quieted the car down, but you know, it kind of sucked because you're missing how loud the car was originally. And yes, it did fix the raspiness. It did fix the raspiness around town, but it wasn't exactly like what you would want. So back to what I was saying on how to get the minimum requirement you would need for a good exhaust note, in my opinion, on a 15 to 17 Coyote, and even the 16 and up Camaros, because the 16 and up Camaros that have long tubes, and they'll use a stock X pipe, because those cars come stock with an X pipe, and they go with like a Corsa Extreme or any kind of like a Borla Attack or any kind of like race style muffler, or even, you know, muffler deletes, whatever. They'll get that raspy clap on startup. And you could go with a quieter muffler to kind of combat that as well, but nobody wants to do that. You know, everybody wants an Extreme, everyone wants a Borla Attack, everyone wants a race muffler. So one of my theories was, because one of my buddies had it, and again, I didn't want to sound like a hypocrite, because now I'm making the video and I have the setup of my car, was to get rid of that without quieting the car down, and you still want it to be loud. What you're gonna need is the Corsa double X pipe. The Corsa double X pipe gets rid of all of that, and that's what I have on my car. So if you look at my two setups before, I had the Kooks long tubes with the Roush X pipe and the Roush mufflers. Clappy, raspy bullshit. And now if you look at the setup now, Kooks long tubes, no cats, full 3-inch now, to the double X pipe and to the sport mufflers. No clap, no raspiness. The sports aren't gonna be as loud as the Extremes, but even if you have a double X pipe on an Extreme, you're not gonna get that same result you had like I had on my previous setup. And no bullshit, my buddy on his Camaro had it. He put it on. He had to slap the double X pipe on the car. Didn't change it. Didn't change a tune. Didn't change nothing else in the car. Didn't put a different cam in it. Put the X pipe in it. Raspiness went away. So in my opinion, this to me is the perfect exhaust note that I'm gonna find in the Mustang. The sports aren't gonna be as loud. Inside the cabin, it's quiet. I'm cruising around. It's pretty quiet in here. When I added the MagnaFlow resonators into the previous setup, I got the drone. And I got the drone under, you know, loads going up a hill, you know, just regular like city driving and stuff like that. And you know, I didn't like that. So if you already have a setup like I had before, headers, a single X pipe, whatever attack race muffler you're gonna have in the back, there's two ways you can combat it. You can go with a quieter muffler. Like if you're a 15, 17 guy, you go with like an RTR rear muffler. So you can keep everything the same. Go with an RTR rear muffler because that's actually made by MagnaFlow and it'll quiet the car down a lot. I actually saw that on that dude in blue because he did it to his car. And if I'm not mistaken, he had Roush's on his setup before, and he was saying the same thing. It was just so obnoxiously loud. And yes, it's cool. It's you can do it, but you know. It's coming from like real car guys that it's a different annoying type of loud. So that's one way you can do it. You can put a quieter muffler. And that's one thing that I tried. I did try, before I went to the Corsa setup, I went to a full 3-inch American Racing catback. I actually test fitted it on my car because it came off a GT350. So I had my headers on there. I went 3-inch X-pipe for American Racing, and then to the American Racing, they call it the Pure Thunder mufflers. Nobody really runs the full American Racing setup because it's money, but it's really good quality. And when I put that on my car, I test fitted it, started it up. Those mufflers were quiet. You know, they did cover a lot of the rasp, they did cover a lot of the clappiness, but overall the car was just much quieter. So that's what I'm trying to get at. You can go to a quieter muffler and the car is generally going to be a little bit more quiet, or you can just leave the stock mufflers on it if you don't really care how the car sounds and you just want the performance. Yo, this fucking traffic sucks. I'm supposed to be at a party at 4. I'm gonna look like an asshole. Fuck it, more time for a video. But when I was testing that, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. It wasn't as loud as I want. Yes, I could have gone to the extreme. Honestly, I was debating about that right before I checked out, sport or extreme. Now, I kind of already lived the extreme life when I had the Roush's on there. And honestly, like everyone else that I get feedback from, especially some other friends that they have Corsa Extremes and they regularly race their cars and daily their cars, they're like, the extremes are just, it's too much. And in a Mustang, and I mean, everyone else in the kind of car community can tell you, like a Mustang with a full exhaust and Corsa Extremes, it's ridiculously loud. So I went with the sports, and I'm all the way happy with it. Now, you don't have to go with a full Corsa setup, you know, to get the sound that you want. Honestly, what I was going to try and do is go with the Corsa double X-pipe and go with an MBRP axle back, because I like the way that the mufflers came down and they kind of angled in the back, and it was still a big single tip. That was kind of in a toss-up that I wanted to do a little bit, and I've heard one of those cars before, and it sounds really killer. So again, I'm not sponsored. I'm here to just, there was no correct video. There was no video I could find on YouTube about, like, you know, what setups sound good or what do this and that. Because it's really hard, on at least on videos, to get a real kind of look at how a car's going to sound. Because, I mean, in person, cars are going to sound way different than they are on audio. But, well, if you want to hear cruising at 30 miles an hour in 4th gear, here it is. And I've had the setup for about 2 weeks now, 2-3 weeks, and it's great. It's awesome. The fitment is perfect. I put it all on there myself. Had a few buddies look at it, like kind of the tip alignment, because there's some stuff you got to do. Put it on, warmed it up, drove it around, brought it back in, tightened everything down that was loose, and it's fine. There's little stuff that I can do here and there because, again, I'm really picky. I want everything super level. I went as far as actually measuring the distance from the ground to the muffler to make sure they're even on both sides. Like, I like to fit it right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there was no video I could find of, like, pros and cons, you know, of doing what setup on what car and how to do it, and, you know, unless you go in the comments, and then in the comments everyone's just like bitching at each other and doing some weird dumb shit. But, you know, destruction on a fucking weekend, dog. Anyways, but it's gonna be up to you. If you're gonna go out there and race and not care, go for it. I mean, just do dumps after the X pipe. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. But in my case, where when I'm in it and you know, you kind of heard it earlier when I was kind of flooring it on the on-ramp. It sounds really good, and I could cruise around town, and it's mild. And the cold start on this, which I didn't mention, is not bad at all. Yes, it's loud. It's a cold start. I got no cats, long tubes, Cobra Jet, E85, but it's not bad at all. Hey, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it. My phone did a little weird, quirky thing. I didn't record for like the next 2 minutes after I got done with the video. But hopefully this helps you and helps you along the way to find out where you're going to want your car to sound like and what your car may sound like if you do end up buying headers with your current exhaust setup. So hopefully this helps. More videos to come. I got a BMR video I got to do. I got a Cobra Jet video I'm got to do. Just little stuff along the way, and pretty much I'm going to just be doing hood rat stuff with my hood rat friends and turning the camera on. So be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. I appreciate it. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys later.